So if you guys have watching me a while, you know how I do my roller coaster and park reviews, which I'll do more of those soon. So um, the way if you haven't like if you're new to this channel, what I do is I get 10 categories, and based on based on how good those things they are on those categories, I give them a 1 out of 10 score. Then I find the average of those and make it a something out of 10 score. So uh, today I'm going to do something like that, where I have 5 categories: characters, which is based off like how good, like how much the reader likes the characters, in case the reader's me. Um, the setting, so where and when the story's at. So we're in and at the 90s. The plot, so basically it's just what happens in the books. All the books have different plots, of course. Conflict, so when like different characters fight each other. And then resolution, so how does like the story end out, so it's kind of something like the end of the plot, like what's the result of the plot. That's kind of what it is. So I'm not saying the Cursed Child is a bad book. I think it's really good, but I think the other books are just like more interesting to read. So starting off with the characters, so of course there's of course Albus, Sirius, and Lily Potter. Like they're all new characters. And there's some more new characters, but I think it could be better, but I do think it's good for the plot that they're doing. The setting, it's nice how I think it's a very good setting. How they continue off from the 19 years later at the end of the Deathly Hallows. I think it's nice they continue from that. Yeah, a bunch of years later, and again, it's just classic Hogwarts. But it's down. But I feel like the main downfall of the book, is that, like most of the copies is really just like, it's just like a play script. I think that's really like the downfall of the Cursed Child. If it was just like every other Harry Potter book, where it wasn't a play script, then I think I would give it like a higher score. So next up is, of course, the plot. I think it's nice how they again put it 19 years later after Voldemort's defeat, but what happens those 19 years later, I think it's a good plot, but again, I think it could be better. So I'm also giving the plot an 8. Next up is the conflict. Again, another 8. The like Death Eaters, I don't know, like the Death Eaters, like kids or something like that. They want to resurrect Voldemort, but Harry, Hermione, Ron, they all fight them, and yeah, it's alright for the plot. So again, I'm giving it another 8. And finally, we have the resolution, how it ends off. So in the beginning of the book, Albus is kind of like mad at Harry, and it keeps just getting more mad and mad until Harry, of course, saves him, and now he's all happy and all of that, and there's no more resurrected Voldemort or 2016 Death Eaters. So yeah, it's a happy ending. Blah blah blah. So for the plot, I think it's great. Resolution. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. So based on those scores, I will give it a 8.2 out of 10. So again, I think it's a good book, but these other stories I think are better, and are more interesting to read. But anyway, let's continue on. So, for the Chamber of Secrets characters, they have some new characters. Not that many though. It just, like okay. Considering, like imagine it was just like Chamber of Secrets just came out. It's just alright. The Philosopher's Stone is still good. So, but yeah, for characters, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's alright. They add some new characters. I'm happy about that, but it's okay. For a setting, after reading Philosopher's Stone, we're starting to get like used to like being in the 1990s UK and Hogwarts. So it's basically the same setting, just 1 year later. So yeah, but it is also nice that they put in the Chamber of Secrets, because it is Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. So yeah, I give that a 9.5 out of 10. Next up is the plot. Again, I feel like it's an okay sequel to Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone, but the plot, it's alright. Kind of like expanding our like what we know about the Wizarding World. After reading the Philosopher's Stone, we see Voldemort for the first time. Yeah, I think it's a good plot. Then next up is the conflict. This really mainly goes to the climax, and it's cool how the only way to like defeat Voldemort again is to destroy destroy the diary with a basilisk bane, and it's also the only way to save Ginny. So I think it's a nice conflict. The basilisk, it's really like interesting, and yeah, just interesting when he fights the basilisk. So yeah, for conflict, I give it 9.5 out of 10. And then finally, we have the resolution. There's really only one thing that makes me like the resolution. It's really just kind of bland, but he does save the school from the basilisk, and for most of us, more importantly, Dobby is no longer a slave to the Malfoys. Yeah, that kind of puts me in tears. That's resolution. I put it a 9 out of 10. But yeah. So, first up is the characters. Of course, I give this a 9 out of 10 because everything is new. The first book, and everything, and again, everything's new. So, Yeah, and there's really extraordinary characters: Harry, Professor Dumbledore, Hagrid, all of the professors. But yeah, I think it's has a really good set of characters that set parts of the future of the series. Um, so next up is the setting, and of course, 10 out of 10. We're all new to this when we read this for the first time. Um, and it just makes you love the Wizarding World and Hogwarts. So yeah, um, the plot again, 10 out of 10. It's a fantastic plot, especially because it's the first book. Um, but yeah, and it really wants you to continue on reading the series. Um, uh, Next up is conflict. Um, there's not too much conflict in the book. Really, the only conflict is again the climax. When they, yeah, when they find Professor Quirrell and Voldemort together, and he fights them. Professor Quirrell dies. Voldemort gets defeated again. And he like goes back to the forest. But yeah, and then finally we have resolution. It's a resolution that is one of the things that makes people that may not have so much success, which may continue the series. Voldemort is defeated again. Hogwarts is awesome, and here he has friends, and he continues on going to Hogwarts. But without so Philosopher's Stone is a very good book, and without its success, none of the other books would be here, and this video wouldn't be possible. So I give Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone a 9 out of 10. The Goblet of Fire is another good book. And this book where so first off is the characters. I give it a 9 out of 10. There's Death Eaters, and of course there's Voldemort, and there's also Bobatons and Drumsting students also coming to the book, and they have a bunch of new characters. That's one of the things I really like about Harry Potter and Goblet of Fire. The settings, it's not really too different from normal. The only difference is really just the graveyard in the climax, and then the fact that there's a Triwizard tournament. So that Triwizard tournament is what is the biggest part about the Goblet of Fire. So I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. For the plot, again, I think it's a good plot. Two new schools, and a tournament we never heard of. Yeah, Voldemort comes back. Another sad death, unfortunately. Cedric Diggory coming down. If you needed 5 boxes of tissues after watching Cedric die. But yeah, I think it's a good plot. Yeah. So I give it 9 out of 10. Conflict, I give this a 10 out of 10. This mainly because of climax. Voldemort comes back and Harry and Voldemort duel. And the only times when Harry and Voldemort duel is at the end of this book and of course at the end of the Deathly Hallows. But yeah, so I definitely give it a 10 out of 10 for conflict. And then for resolution, Rita Skeeter, she's fired. Everyone hates her. Voldy's back, which means like everyone comes into action and they start to fight. So that's one of the things that makes the Order of Phoenix interesting. But yeah, so I think it's a really good book, Goblet of Fire. So I give it a 9.4 out of 10. Order of Phoenix is a interesting book, and one of the things that makes it interesting is again the resolution of the Goblet of Fire. Voldy's back. Now everyone springs into action. So I give it a 10 out of 10 for characters. We have the Order of Phoenix, Professor Umbridge, who we all love to hate, and then there's of course the classic characters in every book. So that's 10 out of 10 for characters. Yeah. Next up is the setting. It's another like classic setting, but the room of requirement is new, and it's something that that appears now in like every single book after it. That where they held the Dumbledore's army. But yeah, so but besides that, everything else is the same. Though there is also the Ministry. I did forget that. Yeah, besides that, everything else is the same. The plot, I think I give it a 9.5. He sees that Order of Phoenix for the first time. Dudley gets attacked by a Dementor. Dumbledore's army getting found, and hallelujah, Umbridge is taken away by the Centaurs. Hallelujah. But yeah, again, it's a really good book. And don't forget the fight scene at the end of the book, which next is conflict. I give it a 9 out of 10. Especially because the fight scene at the end at the Ministry of Magic, I think that's really good. And finally, the Wizarding World believes Harry and Dumbledore that Voldemort is back. So yeah, and that's part of the resolution. Everyone now knows Voldy is back, thanks to Harry and Dumbledore. But yeah, and something I didn't mention before, how Harry thinks he's turning into Voldemort, that would be considered part of the plot, but yeah. So, I give Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix a 9.5 out of 10. So we are now at the podium starting with Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. First up is the characters, 10 out of 10. The main reason is because, of course, they go into Voldemort's past, and there's these classic characters, and these new characters from Voldemort's memories, so I give that 10 out of 10. Next up is the setting. Again, they go way back to the past, see Voldemort's past. So yeah, it's unique and it's different, so that's why I also give it a 10 out of 10. I give the plot a 9.5 out of 10. Again, it's unique and different from all the other books. They look into Voldemort's past and they find the Horcruxes. Conflict. Again, 9.5. Mainly at the Battle of the Astronomy Tower. Yeah, and then resolution. Resolution, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Again, it's different. And another sad death. Unfortunately, it's a Dumbledore this time. And it's also unique because, because Dumbledore tells Harry not to go to Hogwarts the next year, so he can, try to destroy all the other Horcruxes, that they haven't found. But yeah. So then, I give it a score of a 9.6 out of 10. The main reason that Prisoner of Azkaban is so high is because this is the first book I really loved. This was actually my 11-year-old birthday party. That was really based off Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban. So yeah, it has a special place in my heart. And so that's right. That is why it's up this high, and that's why I'm giving it such a good score. So first up is characters, 10 out of 10. Again, new characters, the mentors, Professor Lupin especially. Harry knows more about Diagon Alley by staying at the Leaky Cauldron early on in the book. He sees Sirius Black at the first time before he goes on a night bus. But yeah, so I give it 10 out of 10. Next up is setting. It's kind of it's same places and time as the first two books. So I'm giving it 9.5 out of 10. It's the same thing. It's still a great place, but it is just the same in the same place and time. But yeah. For plot, I give it a 10 out of 10. It's super unique. I really love it. He learns how to fight Dementors. He learns really a lot about defense against dark arts. He finds out that his godfather was framed, and that Sirius Black even is his godfather, who he is, who the Marauders map. Really, just a lot of stuff happens in Prisoner of Azkaban that I really like. So I'm giving it 10 out of 10 for plot. Next up is conflict. Again, this mainly at the end. They go back in time to fight the Dementors. So Sirius's soul doesn't get sucked. That's a good thing. But yeah, they fight Peter Pettigrew, yeah, Professor Lupin's werewolf form. Um, it's just all in all a really good, um, just really a good book. I'm getting lost in thought. And then Resolution. I give it a 9 out of 10. It Buckbeak and Sirius are free. They're on the loose. And yeah, they start hiding, and then it's just kind of there after that. But yeah. And first place goes to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Right, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. So yeah. Oh, by the way, Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban, 9.7 total score. But yeah, this book gets a perfect score. Um, but 10 for the characters. Everyone is there, so it's really good. Um, uh, 10 for setting. Um, there's a bunch of new places. Battle Hogwarts is there. Plot, again, really good. Conflict, especially good because it is Deathly Hallows. It's when Voldemort finally gets defeated. Hallelujah. And 10 for resolution. Voldemort's defeated, and Harry finished the prophecy. So, yeah, so because all of it was 10 out of 10, of course it gets a 10 out of 10 score. So, how did you know? You fake. Alright, as you said, click here to subscribe, and here's a video YouTube thinks you will like. Peace up, Brady Army.